happening, guys? Right, welcome back to another vlog. You can see that tonight I'm up here with Kenny. I'm also here in my normal work clothes rather than my car working clothes. I have started prepping this mould that you saw us pull in the last video. So by prepping, I am now beginning to polish the gel coat surface on the inside. I've touched up some bits of gel coat where it was missing, where obviously when we pulled the mould off, there was bits of gel coat that remained on the arch. In the background, you can see Kenny's getting set up because we want to now cut that split line between the side skirt and the arch panel, because we need to get the side skirt off so we can put a mould of that section of the arch independently. And then he's going to set up and we're going to cut through where the rear bumper and the arch are connected as one piece. We need that split so we can also pull that mould, because they're the two moulds that we need to pull a part out of them, then take that part, have that 3D scanned, flipped and printed, so we can bring it back here and create another mould, which will effectively give us 4 fiberglass moulds for this piece, the bumper piece on both sides of the car. As for the panel I'm going to pull out of this, hopefully during this vlog, we will effectively create that panel. The one that's here on the car now, I'll literally pull it out of here and we'll be holding probably a 5mm thick fiberglass panel, which we will tweak and we will shape so that when we cut all of that off the car, the bumper and the skirt can go back on with the pieces, and we will be holding the physical the chassis arch panel, which is what we're going to give to a metal worker to create us a matching pair. I know of a really good guy who tells me he can mirror it by hand using obviously old school methods not involving 3D printing. So I'm going to carry on polishing this while he prepares to cut straight through that side skirt. So let's get on with it. Pencil right at first. Right, so we now have, as you can see, side skirt, expanding foam, and then a good, I don't know, 7-8mm of fiberglass and whatnot over the top. Oop, there we go. So that's now our side skirt. So the next plan is to get all this polished back up, touch this paint back in, and we need to pull a mould, probably where this swoops in from about this point onwards is just regular side skirt. So we will next up pull a mould across all of this so we can pop this off and pull a part that we can get scanned so we can have it mirrored. And then over here, so this is what the top of the bumper now looks like. So again, same deal with over here as what it was over there. We must clean all of this up, get rid of all of this crap, put a nice flat top on it, and then we'll pull a mould of this side as well. Right, now what we have here is 2 layers of gel coat and obviously bristles that came off my terrible brushes. We've got Clive up here today working on the S14. He's cleaning up the fiberglass arches, getting ready to mount the E30 Pandem kit onto it. We've got Happy up here today. Now, anyone who's been following, they'll know roughly that we're like 1 week behind on time, but we are in the middle of the pandemic, and I know if anyone wants to make any comment about social distancing, I actually live with these 2 guys, so we share a house. So as far as we're concerned, the 3 of us being together at the workshop isn't too much of an issue. So, sorry, that was the compressor shutting down. Right, so what we are doing today, I have just cut and prepped some fiberglass, and I'm about to lay my fiberglass into my mould, which has 2 coats of gel coat already cured on it. You can see I've got this laying on the bumper. The bumper, this is how much wider it is, so this needs prep work. Just mucking around, I've mounted the cransies from my Mercedes onto this, which, I don't know, I'm hoping when we adjust this back to 0 camber for the alternative setup, they should hopefully maybe fit quite nicely. And here is the side skirt sat on the bonnet. As you can see, a fair bit wider. What we're going to need to do is P40 this whole top edge so we can pull a mould off of this, which will incorporate all of this swage line, probably down to about this point maybe, so that we can pull this and get this scanned and flipped and imitated for the other side. So I'm going to go to work on this and come back in a second. Right, okay, so what we have here, we did 3 layers of 300 GSM, and then we did 3 layers of 450 GSM. So obviously you basically lay your fiberglass, you dab down your resin, and then obviously we've been using a fiberglass roller, which just pulls all of the air out of the fiberglass. We didn't really do much recording while we were doing it, because obviously we were all quite covered in fiberglass and covered in resin. So, and as you can see, we made quite a mess all around the area that we're working. But we are basically now going to let this cure, and once this is cured, this should pop straight out of the mould, which will then hopefully give us what you see now on the car, but as an individual panel. And then we'll begin doing moulds for this and for this. Okay guys, right, so what we have here is the fiberglass is now fully cured inside my mould. Now, a good friend of mine told me to leave good flanges on my mould, which I didn't do, so I apologise to him. Oh, this finger's exposed because I'm using it to touch my phone. It's not some weird shit going on. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use an angle grinder. I'm going to trim all this overlapped fiberglass off all the way around all the main edges, so we can then begin to use our wedges again to split hopefully the panel out of the mould, and then hopefully we're going to have a panel which we can fit to our car, because it's, well, I'm a bit nervous because, like I say, I've never done this before. This is all new to me, so fingers crossed it's going to work.
One, two, don't stop. I'm on fire.
so a lot neater. So obviously, I don't know if you can see, but here, this is our swage line for the body, and obviously this face here on the top, this is the front edge of the actual over panel. So let's see if we can get these separated. Okay, dust on my head there. Right, victorious. So it's pulled some of the mould apart here, but that should be okay. I don't, fingers crossed, what I'm holding in my hand is enough. So this is basically a very smooth and very well finished fiberglass panel. Just trying to, there you go. So basically, this is all going to get trimmed off. This ledge here all gets trimmed off. Whew. Right, let's take it over to the car. Let's see how she looks. So what we effectively have now, as you can see, is a fully sculpted fiberglass arch panel. So like we said, we've got to trim this front lip off. This will get cut up to wherever the side skirt is, and we'll trim this bit down to suit our bumper cut. But I would call this quite a success. And it's pretty beefy, so it's a pretty solid panel. Okay guys, so as you've seen throughout this vlog, we have successfully pulled a panel. Let me just grab it for you. So we have successfully pulled an arch panel out of the mould. Now the next stage with this panel, as you can see, this line, this is the chassis line, and obviously this bottom, the line that's inset here, that is the front of the arch line. The next job we're going to do with this is we're going to get it trimmed down and cut to be an exact panel. I don't need fixing points on this because this panel will then be sent off to our metal guy, who is going to make us a pair of panels out of metal that replicate what we create from this. You can see behind me I've got some fiberglass laying over the edge of the bumper. So in the next vlog, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be pulling my moulds off of both the bumper and the side skirt. I've already gel coated them, but we'll come into that on the intro for the next vlog. You'll see they're already up to gel coat level, and I'm about to start laying my mat in so I can pull my moulds so I can create panels which we can have 3D scanned, mirrored and printed, so we can pull 2 more molds, giving 4 molds, 4 pieces for the rear, plus 2 metal panels which we will have made. So really hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm really hoping you guys are trying to do this stuff yourselves, and come back for the next vlog to see how we progress. Cheers guys.